So we have already examined how a positive externality comes about. So in this video, we are going to take a look at a subsidy. Now, as I am going to put in the description, and also as I put in the description of the other subsidy video, please do not confuse these two types of subsidies. The other type of subsidy is, where did I put it? The other type of subsidy, right, is when you have, okay, I don't think it's here, I'm so sorry. Basically, the other type of subsidy is when you levy it, or rather you provide the subsidy on a producer such that this producer has a lower cost of production, becomes more willing and able to sell the good, and therefore supply SS of the good in the particular market for the good will increase. So it's a downward shift of the supply curve. Now, this is technically analogous to that because you may recall that the MPC or MSC curve is actually can actually be viewed as a market supply curve, because the supply of a particular product or good or service is basically a measure of what is the cost at each price level, at each quantity level that the producer is willing to incur in order to provide this good. Okay, so basically what is going to happen is, remember how I said in the Picovian tax video that a policy cannot change MPB or MSB. It can only change MPC to the person who is receiving the subsidy or the person who is paying the tax. So I'm going to align my ruler with the MPC line now. And what a subsidy is going to do is it is going to shift this MPC downwards. Okay, it's going to shift MPC downwards. And why is this? It is because when I have a subsidy, I have decreased cost, monetary cost associated with producing, or if it's provided to consumers, it's reduced monetary cost associated with buying or consuming the good. So my MPC is going to go all the way down here to MPC prime. So it's like the opposite of a Picovian tax. Instead of increasing MPC, MPC shift up, I decrease MPC. So my MPC shifts down. Gets? Okay, now let us recall, this is the fourth time we are looking at a diagram like this, so we should be quite familiar. My socially optimal output, okay, or quantity is here, QS, where MSC equals to MSB. However, free market equilibrium quantity is this point here, QM, where MPC equals to MPB. So just a recall, MPC equals to MPB is this blue points over here. I want it to be at this orange point over here. So you see, initially my deadweight loss is because over here, this is my external benefit to the third party at the socially optimal, at the free market quantity, sorry. So in order to shift it downwards, what is the vertical distance that I need to shift it downward by? This vertical distance in yellow is the benefit to the third party at the socially optimal output QS, such that the new free market quantity, where MPC prime is equals to MPB, now coincides with the socially optimal quantity QS. Now, some JCs and some mark schemes, including Hwa Chong, they don't like you to use the word coincide. Okay, but I'm using that word now just so that you have a better understanding of what I mean. So basically, when you are describing a subsidy, you need to have the rigor in terms of showing, please label this, okay, please label this and label this. And in your rigor, you need to write so that I shift it downwards by exactly this vertical distance in yellow. I show that because my new free market quantity, because QS is now a free market quantity, anything that is P, private, because you remember your producers and consumers are selfish, they will only consider their private utility, their private cost, private benefits. So anything that is MPC, MPB, all this is free market quantities. Okay, so QS is the new free market quantity, which is also the socially optimal quantity, and therefore my deadweight loss is eliminated, my MEB, my externality has been, starts with I. Deadweight loss eliminated. Externality is internalized. Remember these steps. And therefore, allocative efficiency has been achieved and all is well and good. Now, I don't think I've mentioned this in the previous 3 videos on externalities and the solutions, but why is it I link to allocative efficiency all the time? Okay, if you recall, the 2 microeconomic goals for a government, what are the 2 micro goals? Efficiency is one, and equity is the other. So I think I've mentioned equity somewhere in some video before. I don't recall when. I did it quite a while ago, or at least I recorded quite a while ago. I'm more or less just uploading as I go along. The reason why I'm so focused on efficiency is because if I have allocative inefficiency in terms of this dead weight loss here, I trust that you know how to tell your dead weight loss by now. And remember, your dead weight loss triangle will always point towards the optimal point. Okay, towards the optimal point in orange. Okay, so don't draw the wrong dead weight loss triangle. That's a very, very rookie mistake to make. Terrible mistake also. So the reason why I'm so concerned with dead weight losses, so concerned with allocative inefficiency, is because it goes against a microeconomic objective or goal of the government. So in firms and decisions, in addition to allocative inefficiency, we'll also look at things like productive dynamic efficiency, X inefficiency, all that. But well, we'll get to that when we get to firms and decisions. Okay, and then in macroeconomics, you will also keep going back to macro goals. In fact, in macro, you go back to these fundamental goals, and there are 4 macro goals a lot more often than you do in micro. But basically, throughout micro, you can also just link any government intervention, because ultimately, government intervention in the free market, we justify it on the sense that it helps to achieve these 2 goals. Because what is market failure? After all, market failure is just when free markets operating independently without government intervention fail to achieve these 2 goals. The government doesn't want to intervene in the free market, guys. The limitation of a subsidy, I hope you guys know by now, imperfect info, of course, because you can't tell what this yellow distance is, and also op costs. So it's impractical, at least for countries with not such a strong budget, such a large budget surplus rather. It may be impractical for such countries to keep providing a subsidy in the long run. So that's your short run, long run. That's your nature of economy. Just revisiting a bit how to evaluate, and also the facts that because government intervention has so many limitations and trade-offs, the government really, really doesn't want to intervene unless it has to achieve these goals. Okay, so bear in mind, throughout this topic of market failure and government intervention, I hope you have gained a better appreciation of why it is that the government intervenes in the market due to the problem of externalities, both negative as well as positive externalities. So we will go on now to public goods, which is another reason for market failure.